Welcome back, friends, to a new Magic Arena video, and what we're going to be doing today is looking at a mostly Sultai Teferi deck, or mostly Esper Assassins. I really don't know what to call this deck. Like, what would you call this deck? That's a really good question, right? I think it's mostly Sultai Teferi because the sideboard has better green. Anyways, let's just go ahead and dive right into the deck, all right? So a lot of people will wonder how the mana base is, how harsh is, all that good stuff before even considering to build this kind of a deck. I totally understand. And by the way, yes, the deck list will be in the description for everybody who wants to know. There'll be a link to the MTG Arena Pro as well as a typed up list so that you can just, highlight it and import it into your Magic Arena. Anyways, so there's a total of 14 island sources. How many of those come guaranteed into play untapped? I'm just trying to play the game. That's all I'm going to say about that, all right? Same thing for swamps. Forest 8, plains 7. So there's 3 Teferis and 4 trophies. I want to be able to draw a forest, usually before I want to draw plains, especially if I have a trophy in the graveyard and a hand kind of like this. I want to draw that swamp more often than I want to draw the forest, right? So this hand's like stupid powerful. It's got trophy on 2 guaranteed. It's got Sinister Sabotage on 3 guaranteed and mission briefing on 4 guaranteed with a trophy. Like it's really powerful. It really is. So people, like, I'm sorry for the small readings, but everybody knows what Assassin's Trophy is and does for the most part. And if you don't know, it's destroy target permanent and opponent controls. That player goes out and looks for a basic card and puts it into the battlefield untapped. So it is super powerful. And I say that because if somebody has like a turn 3, and I keep saying Tajik or War Boss or whatever the case is, right? You can just trophy it away and boost them up a land like you don't really care. It stops one of their most powerful plays from happening. And usually those decks don't have much in the way of turn 1 plays. Sometimes they can do like the go wide strategy with like I don't know. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is that it's a pretty good hand for most people, and you can draw into more action, right? So let's go over some of these cards, right? So obviously 2 plains, 3 Glacial Fortress. Why Glacial Fortress over other cards? Because I want to draw islands, right? There's like counter magic, and there's obviously the broken card, which is like missions briefing, and there's also Teferi, right? So I want to draw plains at some point, for sure, right? Islands, Drowned Catacombs. The land base is kind of meh. I wish that the land base was a little bit better, but in this kind of a deck, there probably isn't going to be one. If there was like a City of Brass type effect, there'd probably be 4 in this deck. Yeah, anyways. So let's go over the cards. Fungal Infection as a playset. This is actually stupid good. I'm really curious to know why this card is not seeing standard play. Like, it is just really, really good. Like, it really is. It's just truly, really good. Like, so sometimes you get like an aggressive deck, right? They'll go turn 1 something, turn 2. So let me give you an example, right? So let's talk about Boros for a second, right? So if they go turn 1, Banneret, the Goblin, right? And then they go turn 2, a haste creature, but only 1 toughness. This is easily a 2-for-1 card. And almost at worst, it's just a body to block with. Like, you can blank a really big target with this card. Like, it's really stupid good, and I don't know why it's not seeing play. Like, I really don't know. Mission briefing, 3 of. If you've got a playset of this in your deck, I feel like it's kind of like a waste, almost. Like, I want to draw it, right? But it's not a Snapcaster where it can help me end the game, right? So I need other cards like that kind of help me end the game. But the Surveil 2 is really relevant, and I want to figure a way out to kind of be able to loop this card, like loop it. And yeah, because it's really good. Like, it's really good. Like I said, I want to be able to do powerful things in this deck, and I want to be super greedy about it. Yes, it needs refinement, but I want to be super greedy about it. And people are going to be like, oh my god, you're not playing any Essence Scatters or Negates or Syncopates, right? I'm not playing those cards because I don't want to attack what could possibly be played. I don't have the room for error, right? That, like, let's say a blue-white deck would have. I need to hit the board, so that's why I have Fungal Infection, Moment of Craving for my removal, and Assassin's Trophy, along with Vraska's Contempt, right? All of those are They can be removal. They can be like blank their biggest blocker. Like, what if they're playing Stompy Green? Blah, 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 blah. Well, a lot of one-drop black removal is not going to kill a Steel Leaf champion. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot, if any at all. As soon as, Fatal Skill Push, right? Fatal Skill Push, as soon as that thing rotates out, it's going to be better, right? It's going to be harder to kill cards like Steel Leaf Champion. You know, go ahead and let me get my Evolving Wilds. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Fatal Push like your strongest card in your hand. It's pretty good, right? Anyways, so 3 search of Azcanta. This is just stupid good. It really is. I don't really think people are going to really expect this to be a thing, like to start off with, because guys are like, I'm on that Boros plan, bro, or I'm on that Undergrowth plan, bro. You know, or they're like Demir or whatever the case is. I'm just trying to do powerful things, right? That's all I'm trying to say. I'm trying to do powerful things in a meme way, right? So like if this deck wins, like you kind of feel bad, you know, and you're like, wow, are you really playing that thing? And I think that's what I want to call this deck, is that thing. I'm building that thing, right? Anyways, for Moment of Craving. So again, a lot of players are going to play either aggro decks, or I believe they're going to try to do like blue-white control, basically. And this card is basically a blank against blue-white control, so is the Fungal Infection. But you do have cards like Chemister's Insight to pitch those and jumpstart it, which is pretty good, right? I think so anyways. And, you know, of course, you've got your Teferi and all that good stuff to help you against those decks. But unfortunately, you've got about 4 dead cards in your entire deck, unfortunately. But that's, yeah, what are you going to do, right? I don't know, maybe like you can just surveil them over, right? I don't know. There's a lot of play with it. It's not as bad as it looks or sounds, so that's all I'm going to say about that. And of course, it's got 4 Assassin's Trophy. This card is stupid good. Stupid good. I think it's going to be an all-star in every single format it's ever being played in. And if it only stays in Standard, people are like, no, in Standard is not so good because you ramp your opponent. Oh, it's so good. Bro. So aggro decks tend to not need more lands, they need more action. So you ramping an aggro deck, yeah, it can come back. It can totally come back. But if they go turn 3, their turn 3, and it's your turn 2, like let's say Tajik or Goblin War Boss. Let's say it's a Goblin War Boss, right? No, because Moment of Craving still hits it. Anyways, you get what I'm trying to say here. Or like, maybe it's a control player and they're going turn 2 search or turn 3 search with like a Spell Pierce backup. Anyways, there's so many scenarios where Assassin's Trophy is just really, really good. At its absolute worst, it doesn't, there's not really an absolute worst. Like, it's kind of bad against like token strategies, but that's why the sideboard comes in play. But anyways, we'll move on from that, right? Sinister Sabotage. This is a really good counterspell. I think I'm going to make a Jeskai control deck. And so if you're still with me, let me know. Like, I'll do a Jeskai control deck that's going to be like, bro, like, oh, it must be very skillful for you to play such a powerful deck, huh? Your dad's credit card must be great. You know, get those kids to rage at you. One of those kind of decks, right? Anyways, let me know in the comment section, right? So Chemister's Insight, this is actually really powerful. It really is. So there's a lot of talk. Glimmer Genius is better, right? The talk is Glimmer of Genius, right? It being better than the Chemister's Insight. My opinion, I think they're both great in their perspective. Like, you know, against another control deck, when you already have like, let's say 17 lands out and you've got 2 land in your hand, and you want to draw cards, you don't want to sift through and draw like more lands. So you can pitch a land card and, you know, have a card like, I don't know, like Set of the Wreckage, because some idiots play with like Mainboard Chromium and stuff like that. Anyways, there's so many reasons why this is better than the Glimmer of Genius, right? But there's also so many ways that it's worse. Anyways, what I'm trying to say here is I'm split on the card. It's really powerful. I think I'm going to play with it. It's just powerful. Vraska's Contempt. This is obviously a playset of, like, let me go ahead and let me let you know a little something. Vraska's Contempt. People are like, oh, no, it's not a very good card, baby. You know why? Because I touch my tra-la-la. Ooh, my ding-ding-dong. Deep in the night. Boom, boom, right? So you kind of get to that situation where you hit that 4 mana spot and you know your opener was like mine, and you top deck a Vraska's Contempt, you're like, Broscaronis. Did you know? So I'm gonna let you know. Did you know? Hold on, I'm speaking, okay? Did you know I'm gonna kill everything you play for like the next, I don't know, like 10 turns? And they're all gonna be your most powerful plays. Like, once I drop a Teferi, you're gonna be like, what are you doing, buddy? You could have just dropped it and I would have conceded. Just think about it, right? People are like, this deck isn't so powerful, blah, 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 right? So Torrential Gearhulk really was powerful in the old standard, right? Rotating forward. Mission Briefing, I think, is actually equally as strong, right? So the Surveil 2 is really relevant. It truly is. Like, and it's 2 mana versus 6, right? I granted Torrential Gearhulk. You don't have to pay the mana cost of the spell, right? Let's look up Torrential Gearhulk. I love this website, by the way. Right? So it's a 5/6, right? So it's a body that ends the game, you know, basically starting from turn 6 moving forward. I think that's really great, but if Torrential Gearhulk was still around, let's say with the... Oh, and Torrential Gearhulk is the only one that moves forward, by the way, okay? With like the new Boros cards, I don't really think that's where I would want to be in a deck. I think I would actually rather be on like Mission Briefing, because at least I can roll over like a Fungal Infection or recast it, or recast a Moment of Craving on 4 and not just died because, you know, there's like a war boss on the other side or whatever. Like, I think they're both great in their own perspective. One of them, I believe, is just earlier term, like skirmish ability, like the Mission Briefing. And the other one is like super late game. I just kind of win, but I'm already winning at that point. So do I really need this, or do I need like a Teferi to basically close out the game? But anyways, so this is pretty much the deck. I'm sorry, I'm kind of BSing around a little bit. The sideboard, on the other hand, is I'm still under debate. I think I want to play 2 Argyll's Bloodfast for sure, because, and at least 3 Negates. And I always say Negate. It's Negate. Anyways, Argyll's Bloodfast, blah, is super powerful. I mean, against another control matchup, you play this on 2, and they're hurting. You can draw, I mean, in this new standard, there's not a bunch of like really like flash creatures you need to worry about that are, you know, I don't know, like you got the Dream Eater and that's about it. Anyways, I think it's going to be really powerful. And then you can always, you know, flip it and sacrifice nothing because there's no creatures in the deck. You get what I'm saying here? You've got the Plaguecrafter as a 3 of. This is basically just reoccurring card draw. That's all it's there for. It's powerful. It really is. Plaguecrafter. So if you're going against players who, I don't know, have like hexproof creatures, things like that, Plaguecrafter is just really good. And I just think so, in my opinion. And it's not a dead card against control players, right? So you play it on 3 regardless. You know, if you've got a play or not, you can do this on turn 3 and not worry about like a Teferi on turn 4, right, from your opponent. And then they have to discard a card. So you can at worst like 1-for-1 them, right? If you have this in your hand, it's kind of like the same thing as you having like, let's say, I don't know, like, damn, all the removal is instant speed. But you get what hopefully you get what I'm trying to say here. Plaguecrafter's pretty good. Ritual of Soot. This is the playset of the board wipe that we play. It's pretty damn good. Nightvale Predator. So maybe we do this, right? We put 2 off and we go Nightvale Predator. This is super Haiti against any control. Like, it's so stupid hard to remove this off the table. You have to basically board clear in order to, you know, get this off the board. That's pretty much about it. I mean, I might just go like Nezahal. I mean, right? Because Nezahal is a Bamf, right? Totally is. But if I want like 2 Nezahal, help me out, okay? Like, that's what I'm trying to say here, is that I want to do powerful things. I just not really sure about the deck list. Let me know in the comment section if you're still here. So hold on. So what about like Carnage Tyrant, right? Because, you know, we play some Forest, right? So what if we had like 1 Carnage Tyrant? Come on, buddy. 1? That would work. These would end a game pretty quickly against control players. Maybe like 1 of each. I really do want to play Eldest Reborn. It's super powerful. 1 Argyll's Bloodfast. Ooh, I got it. Hold on. Let's clear the searches, right? Let's go counter spell. Oh, come on. It's Guilds of Ravnica. You're killing me here. It's I cannot believe it. All right, so look. One of the Devious Cover-up. So, counter target spell, if that spell is countered this way, exile it instead, and then you get to put 4 cards from your graveyard into your library. So, this would almost be like a 2-of, so that you just don't lose to some, I don't know, nexus of, I don't know. It's just really good, okay? It really is. It helps you keep gas inside of your deck, right? Instead of just drawing duds. It's really good. I might even want to play like a 3-of. Right? I would take out maybe even the Eldest Reborn. Is this stronger than the Eldest Reborn? That's a good question. I think it is. Because this would come into play against... I mean, if I'm playing this on 5, I probably have a trophy on 5. So I'm talking about the Nullhide, right? The Ferafox, right? That's a 4-drop. I can pay 2 and then 2 more and just kill it. This right here costs 5, so it's an easier way to do it. I like that, right? So we'll go 3 of these. I want to draw these against other control players. Same thing with the negates. But this is really good if you ever happen to go against one of those really grindy games. You know what I mean? Like it just keeps action in your deck that you want. And it's 4 cards, right? Yeah, 4 cards. Right? They don't have to be, you know, they don't have to be Moment of Cravings. They can even be like Search of Azcantas. What about like Teferis? Right? What if they're only playing Trophy to kill your Teferi and not Contempt, right? Because Contempt exiles and Trophy doesn't. Right? So like wouldn't you want to put those back in your deck if you're going against those kinds of cards? I don't know. Like I think there's a world where this is pretty good. I don't know if it's this world, right? I mean, you put Disdainful Stroke is pretty good. But I feel like you're losing against like aggro decks more than you are against all the like control decks, because this is pretty hatey towards control. It really is. Like you've got trophies for days, you've got contempts for days, you're even playing Teferi. I don't know. I think you're losing against like aggro more than anything else. So maybe these Devious cover-ups need to be something else, right? But what? That's a really good question. It's a very good question. Will anybody help me out? I'm making this extremely awkward. I know I am, right? But anyway, so this is pretty much the deck though, all right? It really is. Maybe, I don't know what I would change, right? I really don't. Sample hand? Huh, it's so good. The hand is so good. It's got removal for days, and it's not bad against, it's not too terribly bad up against, like, let's say, control or something like that, right? It's not so bad because you have a mission briefing here. Yeah, there's no card draw immediately, but, I mean, I don't know. Look, card draw, card draw, card draw. I love the draw cards. Love you guys. And, yeah, stay classy.